Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Sargel18. Episode 7 of Sargel18 Unchained. Sargel18 dies. Near-death experience, Heaven, Silver City, and Devron. Alright, now I had put up a video about a year and a half ago, I guess about 6 months after I died. And I was still going through the shock of it all. And I put that information up, and I got a lot of hits and all that, and I appreciate that. But now I took it down because I want to do a whole new video on it with much more detail and information on what I experienced. Okay? So I'm just going to start. What happened was, it was July 22nd, 2022, July 22nd, 2022, and Sandra and I were in the garage. I have a garage right off my my kitchen area, a two-bay garage there, which is, well, you'll find out, is also a workshop. And she looked at me, and I said, "Hey, what about dinner?" She says, "All right, I'll just go in and heat it up." I said, "I just had this little like extension cord rope in my hand. It was nothing. If it weighed a pound, it was a lot." And I was on the first step of a step stool with a handle and stuff on top, you know, a good one. The first step, about 6 inches off the ground, and I had turned like this, and I said, "Okay, I'll be right in. Just let me throw this up." And I had it in my hand, and all I remember is my hand moving. Next thing you know, I wake up on the floor of the garage and feel like I got run over by a truck. I got up the best I could and made it to the door to the kitchen, which Sandra was just walking by, and I said, "Help me, help me." And she took one look at me and was like in shock. "What the hell happened? I just left 30 seconds ago." I said, I don't know, something happened." So she got a hold of me. And I didn't want to go to the hospital that night. She looked at my head, and I had bruises on this side, the top, the back, the front. Like something had picked me up and just started pounding my head into the cement floor of the garage. And I believe that's what happened, especially now. I know that's what happened. And something got me, something very powerful and evil, and caught me off guard and got me. Okay, well, what can you do? Even the best of the best sometimes lets their guard down, and I apparently did at that moment. So I went actually down to this room that I'm in right here, and I laid down on the couch, and the next day I had a headache so bad that it was like, and this headache lasted from July 22nd till I died on August 10th. Every 2 seconds you take 2 big brass cymbals and pound them against your head on either side like this, every 2 seconds for 19 days. I went to a number of hospitals. I ran away from the hospitals. The doctors told Sandra that with they did, you know, x-rays or the machine that looks inside, you know, and sees. I had 4 subdural hematomas, a midline shift of the brain. Your brain is in the center of your head, but my brain went all the way to the right against my skull. Major hematoma in the front, right here in the front. And oh, I was bleeding, but on the inside of my skin. I thought I had a little black eye. And then an hour later, the black eye got bigger and bigger, and we realized that I was bleeding on the inside of my skin from my brain. And one doctor after another, hospital after another, and finally the doctors, they put me on guard, because at that point people are known to flip out. Well, they are flipped out. They're completely gone, and I was completely gone. They could kill people and not know it. There's all kinds of shit. So they were watching me, and they pulled Sandra into her room and told her, that's it. He's going to die. It's just a matter of when, and how long, matter of when, how long that takes. And she's like, what do you mean? Is there any chance of him living? And the doctor said there's a 5% chance of me living, and only a 2% chance of me being able to talk and walk and communicate and write and watch, be normal. 2%, they said. They said, but it isn't going to happen. He's going to die. Well, I said to her, after all in all, I said, look, I may as well just go home. If I'm going to die, I'm going to die, in this place here that I love, and with you and my dogs. So, night after night, day after day, bang, 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 enough to make anyone crack. It was so intense. They even gave me a heroin and something else mixture to kill the pain, and it only lasted 6 minutes. And the doctor was in shock. Fentanyl and heroin mixture in the hospital, right? Okay. So, it's around, it's August 10th, around 3, 4 in the afternoon, I gather, I believe. I'll just say it is. I believe it is. And I was on the couch over there, and I was rocking back and forth because of the headache. And the other thing that only Sandra knew, because I kept saying it, is that whenever I could fall asleep, I would instantly have dreams of demons ripping me apart in a hellish environment. And as you all know, I come face to face with demons. I destroy them. Solid, in astral form, whatever. It doesn't matter. I am not afraid of this. So that really freaked me out during the bang, bang, bang deal. And I couldn't understand it. But not that I really had time to think about it, because the headache was so bad that I was on the couch and I was rocking back and forth. And I was like, this is it. I can't take this. And when I came back, I looked at my wrist and I thought, okay, I guess it's time for that. I was going to commit suicide. You can't live like that. You can't function. You can't do anything except scream all the time because of the pain. And as I came back and looked at that and thought that, I died. Right there. By the time my head hit the pillow, I was dead. Now, what happened was, instantaneously, I found myself in heaven, way up in the air, in the sky, with a white hand holding my right hand, a white hand holding my right hand, and I was kind of floating down towards this unbelievably big, building, city, on this gigantic mountain. A mountain so big that it couldn't fit on Earth. If you put it on Earth, Earth would be tilted, it would fall. I never seen anything so big. And wrapped around the top of it, now I was coming down at it with the hand holding me. So I saw it from that angle. I knew instantly it was the Silver City and that I'd been there before. And the first thing I sensed was that there was people waiting for me there to arrive, which was kind of cool. But, alright, I'll explain about the feeling of heaven in a second. Okay. So I look around, and the colors of the skies and the clouds were unbelievable. So vibrant and vivid that I've never seen them that color here on Earth. And it sure isn't the color of our sky, even on the best sunny day. That blue, and you see, nope. That's about 25% of what it is in heaven, of illustrious clarity. So I look over at this hand and I instantly knew that it was this energy where ideas come from that I've been working with for almost 30 years, and calls itself Devron. And I'm like, oh, Devron, that's cool. Hold on a second. What? No, I don't need this. Computers. So, I knew it was Devron. But it wasn't like I was in shock or anything. I experienced, as I was coming down and holding his hand, a complete feeling of, I think I said it in the other video, no hassle. There was no hassle anywhere. There was no body. I was in soul form. The Silver City, the mountain, and the clouds around it, it was a circular thing of clouds around the bottom of the Silver City because the mountain was so high up in the air. That was solid, but I wasn't. And neither was, obviously, Devron. So I looked around, and I'm like, I could feel everything. I could see everything at once. I believe people describe it as a 360-degree viewpoint. But, yeah, I guess it is, in a sense. I could have looked at anything I wanted to, including my birth, at that point. And I knew it. But it didn't matter to me. I was just happy gliding down, looking at the Silver City, and holding on to Devron. So, as we were coming down, I looked at him and said, Devron. I go, hold on, what did I say? I said, I'm sorry, it's been a while, it's been over 2 years. I said, Devron, what are you doing here? Where are we? We're going to the Silver City. And I said, well, what's happening? What's going on here? Am I dead? And that's when he spoke. He said, oh, right, I'm sorry. Before he spoke, as I was looking at his hand, and my hand looked yellow. Like citrine yellow. A deep yellow. And his hand was white. And twice the size of mine. And but I didn't feel it. You just see it. You don't, like, you're not feeling somebody holding your hand. That doesn't happen once you're out of third dimension. And I said to him, I said, Devron, I said, why is your hand white and my hand yellow? And that's when he spoke and said to me, he said, you are a golden soul, and from now on I have my finger on your soul. And I was like, cool. And then put my attention back on the Silver City and going down. It seemed like it was just a slow moving going down. Very fun. I mean, I'd love to just do it for hours if I could, but at least here, but you can't. And then I looked and I said, Dev, as we were getting closer, I said, what do you look like? I've never seen you. I've seen your energy, but I've never seen you. And then I just felt it in my head. It said, look behind me. Look behind me. Now, Devron's light was bright, big, powerful, but didn't hurt. And the clarity of the brightness of the whiteness was just unbelievable. Then all of a sudden, he started bringing down his light, and I knew that was time for me, as I was going down, to take a look over and see what was happening, what he looked like. And what did I see? But wheat. Stalks of wheat, tied up like you see on a farm. Wheat. That's what he looked like. And I was like, okay, over there you don't get freaked out or anything. You're just like, all right. But I remember everything. I remember everything that happened and the feeling with it. And so as we're coming down to the city, I could see us from above as we were flying down, because your consciousness is everywhere. And I saw what a soul looks like when it leaves the body. And it basically looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy. White and lumpy and like two eyes and a mouth, maybe, or you just picture that, and where the head is, and just a good feeling trip, man. It really was. And I realized that everybody has when they leave. That's what they look like until they decide that they want to look like something else, which they'll learn that they can do that. And the one thing I noticed was on my back was two little tiny wings, white wings on my back. And no wider than my shoulders, though. Not like a big set of big flapping wings, but they were wings, but that's where they were. Now, before we got to the Silver City, Devron gave me a view what was under the clouds that surrounded the Silver City. And the Silver City looked like basically if you took the Empire State Building and turned it into a donut and put it on the top of a mountain with the mountain sticking through a little bit in the middle and then clouds all around it. But massive. Massive, massive, like a country size massive. So as he took me up, he took me a little bit underneath so I could see under those clouds that were around it. And I saw the mountain. It was so majestic. And the browns and the grays, the rocks and all were unbelievably vivid. But then I looked down, and at the very base of this gigantic 100,000, 200,000 foot mountain, something like that, I saw hell. I saw the earth, and it was scorched and burning, and I didn't see any beings there, but I saw the landscape, and it didn't look good. Charred, black, everything destroyed, but burning, red, hot. At the very, like all over, at the base of the mountain out. So I guess the planet at that point, or the reality at that point, was hell at the base. So hell at the base, then the giant mountains, the clouds, the Silver City, and then onward. I do have to say that coming back from the Silver City in heaven, I started learning a lot of stuff. They awaken it. You learn everything. I mean, you have everything when you're in heaven. So if you're limited here on earth in intelligence, when you're in heaven, you have it all around you. You know, oh, what did Einstein mean by E equals mc squared? There it is. Oh, all right, I understand it, right? This, that, stuff like that. Every little bit of information ever is right there for you. You just have to focus in on it and like ask for it. Like, I want to see what a Model A car looks like, and next thing you know, there's a Model A car standing in front of you. So I mean, it's like that, and the feeling of freedom and not having a body that's encapsulated like your body is. Your body is your shape. Not having that body, not having blood in you, not having to breathe. I didn't breathe once when I was there. There was no air to breathe, nor did I need to. Your pure energy, conscious thought, God created, and traveling to your next level. Now, what happened with me is I went into the Silver City, and that's when I don't remember. But I do remember there were people around me. It was weird. There was a room, a bed that had a wagon wheel, old wagon wheel shaped window, looking out at brightness, and it was just strange. I felt its physical being, though, because for some reason it didn't feel like me. It felt solid to me. Okay, so 2 minutes later, that was 2 minutes. I spent 3 weeks in the Silver City, in heaven. But here on earth, that was only 2 minutes. All of a sudden, I woke up on a couch, and I looked around. The headache was gone. I felt 100% better. No pain. My eyes cleared up. And I walked upstairs, and I told Sandra, I said, I just died. And Devron took me to the Silver City in heaven, and I got little tiny wings, and I came back and they fixed me. And they did. They did. Now, I still have the residuals of the frontal lobe brain damage right here. But look at me. I talk to you. I make videos. I live. I do all kinds of neat shit. You know? I'm normal in a sense. In a sense. I'm normal. I've never been normal. Sargel18 is definitely not a normal person. Okay, so she freaked. My doctors, they did not want to hear it. They put me through 3 more hospitals, battery of tests, and lo and behold, the only thing they could say, they would not agree with me on death and going to heaven and coming back cured. They would not say that. All they say in the reports is that my what happened to me, and you know, the headache going, and my brain and everything started healing right away. They say it's miraculous. That's it. Miraculous. They won't go any further. Alright. So, I'm walking with a cane for the next, couple of months. I'm scared because I don't understand why Divine Providence and Devron let that happen to me in the garage. I understand now. I also understand how hectic my life can be in my mission and how much I can take. Because let me tell you, 19 days every 2 seconds having symbols bashed into each side of your head, non-stop, even when you're sleeping, was the most horrible thing that ever happened to me as a human being. And I was married to the devil for 12 years back in the 80s. So let me tell you, this was horrible. Okay. So, I start healing. The doctors tell Sandra that it's still a touch and go type thing, but I would not be allowed to drive for a year or do anything like that because of the brain damage. 2 weeks later, I was driving. Driving like always. No problems. Doing stuff, no problems. And Sandra's looking at me, and the doctors, when she calls them and tells them what I'm doing, and it's like no problem, they don't know how to answer that. They don't know how to answer that. But the one thing I do want to stress, after I came back and the headache was gone, I realized exactly what went down. I mean, you know it. When you're dead, you know it. There's no, oh, am I dead, or I'm guessing, or no. And then, not only that, I came back in 2 minutes, miraculously cured of my injury. There's your evidence. There's your proof. And as I said, the doctors don't want to know about it. So I went through, and Sandra helped. Sandra was the biggest, and I mean, she loves me to death, and I love her to death, but she came through in ways. They wanted to lock me up. They wanted to make sure I wouldn't hurt anybody, and she would not allow them. I think she called in some favors, but it was great. Then, after a couple of months, I made that video, like this one. I put it up. And the whole time, Devron's saying to me, now remember, just for reference, if you've been following my line of videos in Heaven Speaks and Unchained, Devron is 2 words, which I only just found out almost 30 years after we met. Dev means God, and Ron means to talk or speak in a good way. God speaks. Devron, been my friend all this time working with me, and I didn't know it. And now I realized that he's the hand of God. Devron is the hand of God. And he has never been wrong. He has never tried to hurt anyone. Anything like that. It just doesn't happen. And correct? He's 100% correct. He knows everything. Way, years ahead. Yeah, and he also knows how to set it up. All right, so I'm getting better, and all this knowledge is coming in that I learned in the Silver City. Instead of me incarnated again like a regular human, not knowing and having to explore and find out all the secrets of reality, I just came back with more. A lot more. Like, I'm the Witch of Endor, reincarnated. Everything she did 3,000 years ago with Saul, I have recreated here. The vortex, the doorway, the beings, interdimensional, everything. Everything. So the whole time, Devron's saying to me, we want you to make weapons. And I'm like, make weapons? And then he would say nothing. And I'm like, okay, another day or two go by. You really need to make those weapons. And I'm like, why? I go, I have guns, I have all kinds of stuff. I have, why do I need to make weapons? Handmade weapons. So finally, I got up one morning and he said it again. I said to Sandra, I said, you know what? Devron wants me to build these weapons. So I'm going to build them. I'm going to build 10 of them. And I'm going to give them away to all my close friends here in Pennsylvania as a gift. But I just want to see if I can do it. Now, I have never worked with metal. All the tools that I really had were sockets, a sawzall, and regular type households, that people have in every house with their little toolbox and stuff. So all of a sudden, things started coming. I started going to garage sales and finding all intense equipment. And what I couldn't find there, I would just go buy at the store. I have a fully furnished machine shop and woodworking shop out there in my garage, and it's so big I can still fit my 2 cars in it without a problem. But I mean, I didn't know how to use any of it, and she's looking at me like thinking that this is still some of the the injury and it's making me do this. And I'm like, no. I said, I don't know how, but I got a feeling I'm gonna accomplish this. So I started making weapons. I started taking axes and grinding them down and then digging into them with tools to make hollows and shapes and designs into them. I found hatchets. I did it too. Really good, really neat ones. And saw blades. Steel saw blades, the big ones, around 12 inches across. I learned how to cut them. I learned how to etch them. I learned how everything, all by hand. And Sandra's watching me do this, and I'm watching me do this, and she's going, how do you know how to run that machine? How do you know how to do? I said, I don't. I just know it. This is what Devron wants, and he's making sure that I have all the information and resources I need to do it. So let me show you. I'm going to show you the weapons that I made and gave all away to my friends. Depending on what they liked, I designed them. They're all only one design for each. Now here, you can see the spear on the left. You can see this type of hatchet. And then we have one that looks like a fish. We have a Nazi World War II reproduction that I made. That had a back end behind that swastika. I took that right off. A dragon. And one of an ancient god for a really nice lady that I know. Hold on. Now you'll get a little close-up here. Here's one close-up. I made these. The battle axe on the left, that was real cool. Now, the one on the right, we have a very good friend named Vinny who is an expert fisherman. So I took the saw blade and I designed the actual sharp part into a fish coming out of the water. And the bottom has, the water. That was for him. Never doing this before. This is all stuff coming to me from Devron in heaven. And here, just one more. Look at that one in the center there. That was an old hatchet. I cut it down, redesigned it, put teeth in, deep eyes and all. I really like this stuff. This was good. And then I gave them all away. Every one. So after that, he goes, you've been wanting to do a door project since you lived in Warwick, New York 25 years ago. Why don't you go ahead and try it? And I'm like, well, I was pretty damn good with the metal, but now you want me to work with wood. Okay. So I got an idea. I made a design. I went and bought the wood from Lowe's, and I did it all by hand, except for etching or digging tools that you hold. I forget the name of them right now as we speak. And it took me a month, and I created something that I saw near Warwick, New York. I think it was in Sugarloaf. There was a psychic store there back around 1999, 2000, and the whole door was a tree, all carved with leaves and stuff. And I always wanted to make it for Sandra, so I did, and here it is. Let me get the, all right, here's what it, well, all right, well, here's what it looks like. It's in front of my house, obviously, on my door. Now, there you go. You see, it's got a bear head in the middle. And I'm going to show you a close-up. And I framed it all out. I did all this by hand and made this. Now, hold on. Here is a closer picture. Every little etching. I put little animals on either side. The roots, the bear head. And those are the animals that my dogs play with and go after here on the property. Squirrels and rabbit. See the rabbit peeking around a tree? Okay. And then just to show you that I did make it, here it is after I had finished it. Before I adhered it to the door, I had it against my car. And there it is. And I knew how to do it. And I knew how to do it well. Many people have offered money for that door, as much as $3,000, but nah, I'm not, you know, I'm not selling it. I made it for her. I made it for the house, and you can't take it with you. So, all right, thank you for listening to my rambling about this, but I just wanted to set the record straight. And another thing, too, is that people that have near-death experiences never come back the same anymore. Most of them don't want to talk about it because people don't believe them and they think they're crazy. They don't want to talk about what they're feeling or what they're able to do. With me, besides this artist work that Devron told me to do with weapons and the door, my awareness and my psychic abilities and abilities in general went right through the roof. And I was the best in the world before I died. So now I'm handling all that, and that's why I'm giving you out information each week, because I don't get anything from it. I don't want anything from it. I don't want your money. I don't want you to follow me like in a cult or something. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to tell you what's going on and what's coming. And I saw this when I was in the Silver City in heaven. I saw Revelation. I saw Lucifer's War in 34, and I saw Jesus come back in 2037. So all that is going to happen. But I thank you for listening this far. I just wanted to get this out. And remember, don't be ashamed if you have an NDE and you come back, and don't be ashamed of it. Tell people what you saw. Tell people how you felt. Oh, and one other thing too, I'm remembering as I'm closing here. When I went, there is no gate to the Silver City in heaven. The whole wall itself, the Silver City itself, the building as I described it, is the gate. And you can only get through to the Silver City if you have wings. If you've earned the right, your soul, to have wings. And I had these little tiny bee wings. You know? What the hell? I got through. And that's how you make it. And there's so much more. And as the videos go on, I'll come out with it. So I want everybody to have a great night. Stay prayed up. And peace out.